We are obsessed with numbers. DDR5 6000, 7200, 8000. We buy the fastest kits, thinking our systems will finally stop stuttering. But there is a fundamental truth manufacturers don't put on the box. While bandwidth has exploded, latency has effectively stalled for decades. Your CPU, capable of billions of operations per second, spends the vast majority of its life doing absolutely nothing. It is waiting for data to arrive from a component that is, relatively speaking, miles away. In this video, we're going to deconstruct why fast RAM is often a marketing illusion and why the memory wall is the single biggest bottleneck in modern computing. To understand the bottleneck, we have to look at the physical scale. Inside your CPU, signals travel mere millimeters to reach the L1 cache. This takes about half a nanosecond. To reach your RAM sticks, the signal must travel across the motherboard traces, through the memory controller, and into the DRAM cells. This round trip takes roughly 100 nanoseconds. That sounds fast, but to a 5 GHz processor, 100 nanoseconds is an eternity. It's about 500 clock cycles. Imagine needing a tool to finish a job, but every time you reach for it, you have to walk across a football field and back. That is the reality of every single cache miss in your system. Marketing focuses on mega transfers per second. Think of bandwidth as the width of a pipe. A wider pipe moves more water, but it doesn't make the first drop travel any faster. Latency is that travel time. If you look at the actual first-word latency of high-end RAM over the last 15 years, it has hovered stubbornly around 10 to 12 nanoseconds. DDR3 1600 at CL9 had a latency of 11.25 nanoseconds. Today, a high-end DDR5 6000 kit at CL30 has a latency of exactly 10 nanoseconds. We've increased the width of the pipe by 400%, but the speed of the water has barely changed. We are just moving more data at the same slow speed. Why does the latency stay the same? It's the math of CAS latency. CL represents the number of clock cycles it takes for the RAM to respond to a request. As we increase the frequency, the clock speed, the cycles get shorter. To maintain stability, we have to increase the number of cycles the RAM waits. This is a balancing act that results in a net zero gain for latency. When you see DDR5 8000 with a CL of 40, the cycles are incredibly fast, but the RAM is waiting for 40 of them. You're buying a faster clock just to wait for more ticks. It's like a sprinter who runs faster but has to wait for a longer starting pistol delay. This latency kills performance in specific ways, most notably pointer chasing. In modern software, data isn't always in a neat, sequential line. It's often scattered. To find one piece of data, the CPU has to read an address, wait 100 nanoseconds for the RAM to return it, then use that address to ask for the next piece and wait another 100 nanoseconds. This is a serial process. No amount of bandwidth helps here because the pipe is mostly empty while we wait for those individual addresses to return. This is why a database lookup or a complex game engine can feel sluggish even on a machine with 128 gigabytes of fast memory. This divergence between CPU speed and memory latency is known as the memory wall. Since the 1980s, CPU performance has grown by about 60% per year, while memory latency has only improved by about 7% per year. The gap is widening. To combat this, engineers have made CPU caches massive. An AMD X3D processor uses a giant L3 cache specifically to avoid talking to the RAM as much as possible. The fastest RAM is actually the RAM you never have to use. If your code hits the main memory, you've already lost the performance battle. So is fast RAM a total lie? Not entirely. For workloads like video editing or file compression, that wide bandwidth pipe is essential. But for general snappiness and low latency applications, the MTPS number on the box is a secondary metric. The real solution isn't faster RAM, it's better data locality. Writing code that keeps data in the cache is the only way to bypass the physical limits of motherboards. Next time you're shopping for an upgrade, remember, you aren't just buying speed, you're buying a slightly shorter wait in an endless line.